tell me, you're now you're a member of this organization, REACT19. What is this organization about?
So REACT19, we formed REACT19 in November of 2021, when 10 of us who were injured by the COVID shots all met at a press conference in Washington, D.C. that was held by Senator Ron Johnson, who is an unbelievable, awesome U.S. Senator from the state of Wisconsin. So we all met there and told our stories. And we met with a bunch of scientists who also, explained what was happening to us from a vaccine injury perspective, from a science perspective. And the 10 of us that were injured left there and decided to form a advocacy organization to give hope and support to those, at that point, Americans injured by the COVID shots. So we did. We formed a nonprofit organization here in the United States. We're a science-based, non-political, grassroots advocacy organization to give hope and support to we started as just Americans injured by the COVID shots. We now represent over 40,000 Americans that are injured by the COVID shots. But we are now an international organization. We have 20 international partners all over the world. We are the largest such organization, but we have 20 wonderful partners all across the world. And we are working together to try to give these people hope and support. So what we do here in the United States, our three main pillars of our mission are to give the vaccine injured people financial, physical, and really emotional assistance. We've given out medical grants. We give grants up to $10,000 US for uncovered medical expenses to people. We do research both within our organization, and we support other organizations in their research, and we support them financially. In the emotional realm, we have well over 40,000 people in social media-based support groups. We also have a national network of social workers and nurses that can be assigned to the more what I call marginalized injured person. And then in this year and next year, we're working very hard at the national level on what I call as the 2 C's, which are care and compensation reform. So while the United States really was at the forefront trying to develop the mRNA vaccines, for those that got injured, they are basically in last place when it comes to taking care of those that are injured. There is really no safety net for us. There's no compensation. There is something called the CICP here, which is a long word. It's called the Countermeasures Injury Compensation Program. It's called the Countermeasures Program because we don't consider it a vaccine. It's considered a countermeasure. But our program here has only compensated about 40 people, 40 Americans, for their injuries. And the average payout is about $4,200. So the compensation program here is horrible. So the other C that I talk about is care. These people just can't get medical care. And I'm not even talking about good medical care. I talk about competent medical care. We can't find providers that have any idea of available treatments, the diagnoses, the diagnostics. So we're trying to be part of that solution. So we have a medical team of about 20 providers here in the United States that are working hard, going through the literature and really working together from all specialties to define our syndromes better and to really find better evidence-based diagnostics, meaning testing and treatments.
According to your experience and your organization, what are the biggest part of these adverse events, exactly these injuries from vaccines?
You mean the biggest type?
Yeah, biggest type, numbers.
Okay, so, well, first of all, what I would tell you is the biggest numbers are really in the neurological category and the autoimmune categories, okay? So I break down the injuries into 3 different pathophysiologies. One is the inflammatory group, one is the allergic group, and one is the autoimmune group. And that includes the neurologic injuries. Now, everyone, of course, as you know, talks about myocarditis, because myocarditis is one that everyone has pretty much agreed to. But in our studies, that only represents about 4 to 5% of the adverse events to the COVID vaccines. The vast, vast majority, about 70 to 80% of the injuries include the neurologic and the autoimmune disorders. And as you probably know, about 70 to 80% of the injuries occur in women. So it's horrible. So what we're trying to focus our attention on right now from the standpoint of our medical group and developing these new protocols is really to focus on the big numbers, which are the neurological injuries and the autoimmune injuries.
I had a guest, Mr. Watersau Kema from Netherlands, and he made some investigation in EMA data about adrenal vigilance, and he found that the biggest adverse events from vaccine was illness itself. That means the biggest part is that you get COVID after COVID shot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the average number of symptoms a person has is over 40 in our studies. So remember, when these people have these injuries, there's not one specific injury. They have a syndrome. And a syndrome, as defined in medicine, is really a constellation of symptoms. And that's what we're seeing. These people aren't just coming in with one disorder. They're coming in with a constellation of disorders and a constellation of symptoms that we define in these syndromes.